Hey, how we doing, guys? It's me again, Sir Tannis, with another online battle replay. Today we have the Battle of Samander. I am playing as Massalia with a mixed line of thorax swordsmen and thorax hoplites, I do believe. Nope, Massalian thorio spears, Massalian hoplites, more Massalian hoplites, light hoplites. I think I have 4 units of light hoplites. I have the same thing. I got 3 mercenary Gaelic hunters, which is a bow unit, and 1 unit of peltis. I'm going to go ahead and slow it down while I'm doing this. It's the same rules as the last match. 3 cav. The general does not count as a cav. 1 artillery and 1 elephant. And all my cav are Massalian cav, including my general. And then, nope, that's just another user of thorax swordsman in the back. My ally is Uber, as the Galatian is Uber, the same guy as last time. He's bringing Galatian. He has Galatian swords over here on the flanks, 4 units of them. Over here in the distance, he has 3 Galatian raiders. In the center, he has Galatian legionnaires, 6 of them. He has a Celtic scorpion and Galatian spears in the front, and his general's a noble horse. For his skirmisher force, he's bringing Celtic slingers, 4 units of them. So, I'm facing off against Kush, who's commanded by Sky the Fisherman. For his skirmisher force, he has just regular archers. It looks like a Nubian bowman. For his infantry line, he has Shotel warriors. I believe he has 6 of them. And then he has 3 units of pikes. 3 units of pikes. And then he's got these armored Shotel warriors too. For his general, he's got the Kushite Royal Guard. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And I think that's his only cav unit. I think he mostly brought infantry. So over here, the Seleucids, commanded by the Big Brain. He's bringing 1 Indian war elephant. He's got Persian light archers and a Greek scorpion for his skirmishing force. More Persian light archers. I'm going to go ahead and speed it back up. He's got thorax swords and royal peltist for his melee infantry and some hillmen on this flank. His general's another royal peltist. For his main line, I think, yep, just 5 units of pikes. Over here, the Galatian cavalry is getting beat back by these. Slow down. Hold on, what are they? These Median cav are facing off against the Galatian raiders, and he's scaring all of them off. That might just be a ploy, though. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed that back up. This battle happens kind of fast, so if I miss anything, I'm gonna go back and re-show you that battle. So I'm leaving my peltis up here to absorb the charge from these Shotel warriors. I don't know if I should have done that, but that's what I ended up doing in the battle. Because the peltis actually put up a pretty good fight in melee. And behind them, I'm moving up my thorio spears and my thorax swordsmen. Those precursor javelin units. Same thing here. Leave them in the fight and then charge them in the melee. I pull my cavalry into the back. I tuck my archers back there too to square off against his. He pulls his archers way back by his general and just starts advancing his infantry line. His Shotel warriors, they're making... Why they lost a lot of troops in my peltis and javelins, they rout them, and they're going to push right through with their giant shields and those wicked swords they carry into my thorax swordsmen. And my thorax swordsmen, being from Massalia, have probably never encountered an enemy like this before. So over here, I'm pulling a move like Alexander the Great did at Gaglamea. I'm moving my some light hoplites, some light infantry, and my cavalry over to the extreme flank. But I am going to end up having to break off 1 unit to take their flank, and then I'm going to continue on and wrap around. He's doing the same thing over here with his armored Shotel warriors. I'm going to pull back my archers and get some pop shots off on them. But ultimately, I'm going to have to bring in my cav. So I'm going to slow it down, guys. Our main lines have engaged. Sorry. Can't figure out words today. So over here, they're just kind of playing a cat and mouse game with their cavalry, trying to figure out who's going to make the real first move. He's got his archers protecting his flank over here. He's tucking his elephants back, and he's got his pikes. Not even in pike formation. That's kind of a brazen move. Over here, he's got a... these hillmen have precursor jabs, I do believe, so he's got a pretty okay scrimmage advantage over there. Over here, he brings over 1 unit of Galatian swords, 2 units of Galatian swords, and his general to kind of help me out because he sees that I'm flanked. This unit's lost. I got my mercenary Gallic hunters in the back, putting off some pop shots. I got these Massalian hoplites I had to pull back. They were my rear guard unit. I'm pulling them in. They're going to end up engaging the Shotel warriors, while the armored Shotels are going to engage the Galatian swords. Over here, I don't know really what happened. Ooh, there was a guy that got flipped. I don't really know what happened, but this unit ended up gets pulled back. I just don't know if maybe I didn't advance him or anything. So they're going to go ahead. I'm going to pull them out of unit formation. They're going to attack these pikes, try to get around them. My cavalry, I'm doing hammer and anvil, trying to do anything to get rid of these guys. But they have really high morale and pretty good attack and attack stats and defense stats. So I got my Massalian Calv. They went around the extreme flank, and I went ahead and charged the Kushite Royal Guard Cavalry. But they are a really tough unit. They put up one heck of a fight. His Galatian swords, I do believe he's going to try and chase off these bowmen. His Galatian sword right here, after taking a bunch of shots, they're going to retreat. They've had enough for the day. My Massalian hoplites, I don't know if maybe he just brought more infantry than me. I thought we brought an equal amount. But my troops just keep getting outflanked left and right. You can see in the center he pushed me back with the use of his pikes, and I had to move in my cavalry to push him back, break those units, and I don't know if I closed my line. My thorax swordsmen, I don't know if it's because I never gave the charge order, but they're just not performing as well. Or maybe they're just severely outclassed by these Shotel warriors. Over here, there's just a massive scrimmage battle going on. Just the slingers facing off against the archers, trying to shoot down the pikes. They're each firing the scorpion at each other. We got Cav and some light infantry squaring off on the flanks. The elephants are still tucked in the back. Looks like they broke a unit of Persian light archers that haven't really come back yet. Over here, my ally, he sent his general over to help me. That was very kind of him. And he's taken out the enemy's skirmisher advantage for me. Over here, my cavalry's broken. I was using them as a bodyguard to try and protect my general and his bodyguard because they were moving on the extreme flank and then had to return. But they just weren't enough. The Kushite Royal Guard and the Shotel warriors with their precursor jav, they were just too much. And their swords, they must act like axes almost because they're really good at armor penetrating. You can see that guy, he's already taken out like 3 guys in the time we've watched him. And these are heavily armored units, you know, not my light hoplites, obviously. They're just wearing linothorax. But my thorax swordsmen, you would think they'd be pretty well armed and pretty well trained, but they're just getting cut down. My general, he's making his last stand. I got a unit of Massalian hoplites facing off against more Shotel warriors and his Kushite pikes. Those pikes are really good. I don't know if they're the basic pike. They kind of look like it, but that was a weird glitch. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that guy's butt was popping through his outfit. So, I'm forming up my remainder of my troops right here. But just as soon as I do that, I pull my general back and he breaks, and he takes his units and breaks that unit. And before I even get as set up as I was like to, I have to charge in to try and save that unit. But it looks like I'm not going to do it. I obviously didn't care about them right then. But right now, I feel sympathy for them. These guys are fighting their hearts out. I'm just making my guys sit back and watch, shoot arrows at them. But I feel sympathy right now. My allies' general's doing a really good job of cleaning up these Nubian bowmen. Sorry, guys. Over here. Sorry about that, guys. I ran out of recording time and I didn't notice when. So I'm starting to inch up my line. These Massalian hoplites are still holding on. The enemy's doing rear charges against them with their Shotel warriors. Doing cycle charges, I mean. They got their pikes pushed down to the front. I'm kind of at a loss for what to do because I don't have a lot of ammunition left with any of my units. They're all tired. They're all demoralized. They just watched the enemy slaughter their entire army. Pretty much. They wouldn't have made it out of this situation alive if it wasn't for their ally, who came in at very timely situations. The enemy's cab, the enemy's general cab, he's faster than mine. My men don't have their general. They're very demoralized. Now they're having to fight these veterans that have just got done slaughtering all their friends. And they're so brazen enough to not wear shoes. Some of them are wearing shoes, but most of them aren't wearing shoes and they're fighting them. So these guys are like, holy, these guys are badasses. They ain't got shoes on. Over here, these pikes are cleaning up my units. I got kind of a sandwich on his Shotel warriors over here. But you notice he had two guys on. These two guys were fighting my three guys, and now it's an even fight. It's 2 on 2. I'm gonna turn the camera so I can keep an eye on that fight over there. We're gonna watch this duel really quick. This fight pretty much just boils down to a duel of who has the less exhausted units and who can pull off the better maneuvers with their cab, like that. These amazingly, these 4 guys are still fighting. They're still duking it out. These 2 guys in particular, they're still. Oh, that guy lost. Well, my guy lost. So he's gonna go ahead. Look, he's changing targets. He's like, well, this guy's close to death. Nope, he's gonna run away. Maybe him in particular, but it doesn't look like the unit's breaking. Over here, my last unit of thorax swords over here is breaking. 60 men. I do believe the captain might still be alive too. So I figured out what it was. There was a nice decapitation. What it is there's one difference in stat between these guys unless there's an upgrade. So I'm just charging down my last few new units. We're going to go ahead and check on the fight over here. I'm going to apologize to Uber right now for not paying attention to his fight, but it was mostly scrimmage at this point. But since my fight's pretty much done, I'm going to concentrate on his. So he's got Galatian legionnaires breaking to these royal peltasts. In the center, it looks like the enemy just keeps, who is commanded by the Seleucid Empire Big Brain, just keeps setting up one unit of pikemen at a time. Not really sure what he's doing there. Might be just trying to draw fire. These royal peltasts, I do believe they've been fighting for a while. I don't know why, but he's not bringing them in to help this thorax swordsman, which he's been kind of using these guys as a hammer and anvil back and back. So these guys, elephants just sitting there. He's obviously not afraid of skirmishing fire anymore. These pikes are going to get into pike formation and engage these legionnaires. These legionnaires, I think what he's trying to do is wrap around them. We'll see how well that works out. And here come the elephants. Ooh, he got jabs off, ran him amok, but he didn't kill any of them. Over here, at this point we had asked to be left alone and let ourselves just duke it out. But my ally Uber, obviously he just wanted to finish off these guys while we had them, so he didn't have to deal with them later. Right over here, the fight's kind of begun in earnest. With the elephants running amok, they've lost 2 elephants, or maybe just 1. But they're just messing up this battle line. And unfortunately, those elephants are taking out more Galatians when they're running amok than they are these pikes. But ooh, there we go. Those guys are getting run over. But with the added pressure from the elephants, these Galatian legionnaires are going to break without being able to get into those pike formations. Over here, once again, he's doing the hammer and anvil with these royal peltasts and a small unit of pike on these Galatian legionnaires. Even though they're both depleted units, that's going to be a pretty nasty combo on those Galatian legionnaires, especially with this fresh unit of hillmen getting brought in. Uber's infantry in the center is just destroyed. They can't. These elephants who are still running amok, They're just causing all sorts of damage, even to their own army, but unfortunately more to the Galatians, who just can't get a break on this side. He was very helpful on my side of the battlefield, but I think he might have just been too wary about those elephants, or maybe just couldn't get close enough to scrimmage them down. They're still running amok, and the Seleucids win their fight without taking any losses hardly. Over here, what it boiled down to was his Shotel warriors versus my Thorio spears. We'll go ahead and watch this guy. He's the last one in their army. Versus my Thorio spears, and we had asked to be left alone in the instant messenger. And my ally, his cav was already over there, so he just did a rear charge. Both of our units broke at the same time. His cavalry, I don't know why they're cheering. They're charging towards a massive army of Seleucids, all by their lonesome. So I'm gonna exit this mode really quick. I want to see who he's going after. Looks like he's gonna go after these thorax swordsmen over here. And he comes onto the battlefield and he just sees his entire army destroyed. You have to imagine that's got to be pretty demoralizing for these 36 men. So we're going to go ahead and zoom in and see what they can get done. So pretty nice charge. Not very penetrating into the lines, but I think it took out a lot of them. I don't think many of these guys are going to get back up. Maybe half a dozen or so. And here come the elephants and the royal peltas with their jabs. So the cavalry's going to go ahead and boogie out of there with the elephants chasing them. But it looks like he's going to turn around and he's just going to go out with a fight. So they got these hillmen in there. Looks like they broke that unit. Yep, they broke that unit. No, they didn't. So, I'm sorry about that, guys. So, it's going to be a costly enemy victory. Costly really only for the Kushites who lost their entire army. The Seleucids got out of here without a scratch. Alright, guys. So, here we are with a valiant defeat. So, I had 2,070 men. And I lost pretty much my entire army. I only got 1,000 kills in this battle. Almost 1,100. My ally Uber had 1,950 men. And he got 1,333 kills, and he lost about the same amount of troops as me. In the end, it just wasn't enough. Sky the Fisherman deployed 1,740 men and got the most kills on his team again with 854. The Big Brain came in with 1,848 Seleucids and got 1,374 kills. Overall, doing really nice. This Royal Peltas unit that I was telling you about, they racked up a lot of kills. Those Indian war elephants, they got 232 enemies killed, but how many of their allies did they kill? My ally's noble horse doing the best out of all of his units. And out of all my units, I don't think I had... No, I didn't have anything spectacular, anything do spectacular. These thorax swords got a pretty decent amount of kills. Massalian hoplites, my one unit of Massalian cav. But overall, I just didn't bring a good force this time. And my opponent, all his melee infantry getting around 100 kills each. All of them worth their money. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time.